Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 challenge run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to play without buying a single weapon. So recently I did a run with the king where we won without buying any items, weapons only. So today we're going to do the opposite and buy no weapons. Now obviously this is possible to do with the bull because that's how that character's designed, but I think it's also possible with the lucky and maybe the lich. So we're going to give it a go and see if I can make it work. What weapon I start with is going to be pretty important here. It's going to be our only weapon for the entire run. So we could go with Lute or Flute. Those both scale with luck, and so that's pretty nice for the lucky, who has a lot of that. It'll keep the damage of our actual weapon attacks relevant for longer. Torch gives us spread damage around the map, which could be pretty helpful for the lucky. Pruner could give us some healing. I think those are kind of the main ones. Rock is good base damage, but it really needs attack speed, same with Jousting Lance, so we don't want that on the lucky. So let's start with Torch and see if we can make that work. The reason for that is that if I buy any elemental damage, it's very efficient on Torch because when you're dealing your damage as slowly as we're going to be, we'll always get every tick of the burning damage. And that can be pretty helpful for the lucky to kill stuff, because then we'll actually get the full value of any elemental damage that we buy, because it will basically be worth buying 3 elemental damage, even though we only have 1 weapon. I'm going to take the Broken Mouth here. We're definitely going to want HP. Do I want Weird Ghost? Do I think I can avoid taking damage? I think I do, and that will give me enough HP that we're in pretty good shape. And then I'm going to reroll twice here, and I'm actually going to lock both of those items as well. I think the most important items for us to find are going to be baby elephants and cyber balls, of course, but we're going to need ways to start our damage chain, because obviously with the lucky you need to kill stuff in order to be able to pick up materials so that you can then kill more stuff. But even though... Oh, is there any chance we can kill this tree? I think it will burn if it ticks once more. No, unfortunate. And I left a lot of materials on the ground trying to do that, so kind of a mistake there. I might take 1 elemental damage just so our torch damage is relevant for a little bit longer, and I think we're going to do that. And then I'll buy this. Even though it costs me 3 luck, we're going to want as much regeneration as we can get. I'm also not going to reroll here. The grenade launcher is funny. We got a grenade launcher wave 2. I'm not going to reroll because I already have an item locked, and on shop 2, we've got 2 guaranteed weapons, so that's 2 items we definitely cannot buy. So I'm going to wait to use my rerolls until at least wave 3, where we have more options to actually buy stuff. I'm going to try to keep the trees on fire here, just so that we can potentially get a tree kill. But I think the 1 elemental damage is working out really well. It meant that we killed that tree in only 2 attacks, and we're getting a little more damage on other enemies around the map. Obviously, we're never going to be able to kill that loot alien. We just don't do enough damage. But 2 more elemental damage will keep our torch working for a little bit longer. And then let's reroll. And here I'm just going to take 8% damage. That will work extremely well, of course, with our lucky passive. So we can make that work as well. We'll take a cyber ball. Obviously, this is probably the most important thing for this character. That and baby geckos to pick up materials are going to be how we actually kill stuff in the late game. Then we'll buy some more percent damage. I will also take a snake. Although our torch is not going to be our main plan later game, it is still pretty important early game, so the snake for the extra burning damage and the extra elemental damage that we got are pretty nice. Do I want a sharp bullet? So one of the ways this character can go is if we get a lot of turrets, or a pocket factory in particular, then we can use those to deal damage. We could maybe even use them with scared sausages, since I have some elemental damage as well, and we're going to be buying the snake. I think it's not worth buying the sharp bullet, given that we don't have anything that works with it right now, but if we had those items, sharp bullet might be a little more worth it. So right now, just trying to pick up some materials to kill as many enemies as possible. The more materials we pick up, the more there will be for us to pick up, because each material that we pick up is going to generate more dead enemies. There we go. Finally got the damage popping onto the Curse Alien. If I get a second Curse Alien kill, that would be really nice. I'm trying to pick up as many materials as I can. We're getting kind of unlucky on procs there. A lot of the time we stepped on materials and didn't get the lucky proc, because it only has a 75% chance, which sometimes we'll miss a couple times in a row, as indeed happened there. Our Cyberball's only dealt 175 so far, so it also did not go off that frequently. Piggy Bank, I think we don't want. This character is going to need to get stronger every wave, so we definitely don't want to save money like that. Unfortunately, Hunting Trophy doesn't do anything. We won't be critically hitting ever. On the other hand, Pearl is an amazing find. We're very happy with that. That's going to be a huge amount of extra percent damage, and a lot of extra value over time if we can find enough crates to maybe find a Pearl. If I buy the Alien Worm, we can't afford the Mushroom here, but I will still lock the Mushroom. Again, even though we need to boost our luck for the Lucky, the Mushroom is just so much regeneration that we definitely want that. The Lucky is tagged with Pickup, so it's more likely to find items that care about picking up materials or consumables. So we're more likely to find baby elephants, we're more likely to find cyberballs, we're more likely to find consumable healing items as well. So that's part of why I'm okay picking up the Alien Worm. We need the max HP, we need the regen, and we're more likely to find consumable healing to offset the consumable healing loss that we took with the Alien Worm. Looks like, again, we kill the trees in 2 full ticks of our burning damage, so the elemental damage is really coming in handy in terms of killing these trees. And we're making okay money here. I'll take a Spyglass. The range is kind of useful for our torch. And then we have no harvesting currently, so yeah, let's pick up 8 harvesting, make sure we're still going to get some money, even though our clear speed is going to slow down a little bit in the next few waves, probably. Take Cute Monkey for sure. That's going to be a lot of healing since we want to pick up as many materials as possible. But Alien Eyes, I think we'll pass on. Our HP is very low. So I don't want to... I didn't roll for early harvesting because I think this character just needs to be able to kill stuff at all. And the early harvesting will make it very difficult for that to happen. Once you stop killing stuff on the Lucky when we're building a character like this, it's going to be impossible to start killing stuff again. Because if you don't stay ahead of the wave by killing most enemies as they spawn, then you end up in a situation where you're spreading all your damage across all of these enemies and none of them are actually dying. And then you just simply don't get any enemy kills. So hopefully... Yeah, nice. We got one more tree kill there. Unfortunately, I wasn't going to be able to get the other tree. Ooh, Peacock is very dangerous, but XP gain is incredible on the Lucky, who has a minus 50% XP gain penalty, so we're going to have to take the Peacock here. Given that I have that, I was considering the harvesting, but I think I'm going to roll here, and we'll take... Do I want regen or just more max HP? Let's just take 6 more max HP, because that will allow me to survive with the Peacock a little more, and we just got a bunch of economy from that. I should take the Wheelbarrow still. Puts me down to 1 armor, but Wheelbarrow is such a good item for us, and I'm actually not going to take the Padding because it's very expensive. I will reroll twice here, and we missed both times, so really unlucky to throw away a lot of materials there, but we're at least going to make a bunch of money off of a bunch of money and free stats off the Wheelbarrow and Peacock. Now I need to be very careful this wave. This is a healer wave, and we have a Peacock, so not only are the enemies always going to be full health, and we're not going to make as much money this wave as a result, because of the healers, those enemies being at full health is more dangerous because they're more likely to hit me for tons and tons of damage. I will say the early Cyberball has been incredible. It's helping us keep up in terms of trying to kill enemies, but we're not going to make much money this wave because I have to flee everything that's on the field, since with Peacock we'll die in 2 hits. So we left a lot of money on the ground, but I actually still made 174. That's not terrible. I'm going to recycle the dynamite. We have no explosions currently, and then we'll take 3 regen here. And melee damage isn't a complete 0 because we do have the 1 torch, but I think we're not focusing on that at all. I'm going to reroll. With this much luck, we can definitely do better. We'll take 15 more luck. And then here, do I want 2 elemental damage, or do I want to roll for armor or max HP? I think we need to roll for defensive stats, though I'll take 10 luck as well. That's both an offensive stat and increases our economy. Take another Cute Monkey and then roll. Whistle is kind of interesting. This is an item that will make more loot aliens appear, and those are hard to kill for this character, of course, since our damage is random, but it is a good economy item, and we have a pearl, so more crates are good. We're also likely to get better items in crates thanks to our very high luck, so crates are really good for us. I think I'll take the whistle, we'll take the injection. I'm going to pass on the bone dice because it takes just a while to pay off, and then we'll do a couple rerolls here. All right, an incendiary turret is amazing, and lumberjack shirt is great, and that's going to mean much less time spent trying to kill trees. And the incendiary turret will help just keep damage on all the enemies on the field, make sure that they're low health, so when we trigger our lucky passive, we're more likely to kill them. Wave 8 is really dangerous for a character with only one weapon. The anglerfish will chase us down and potentially kill us. I got too close to that one, and it activated, and that one as well. You need to stay away from the anglerfish so that they don't activate if you're a build that doesn't have a lot of weapons, and thus can't easily defend yourself from them. I am trying to pick up materials here. Once again, we don't have... Oh, I wasn't able to get that tree on fire, so we probably won't kill it, because we would need to hit it at least twice. We don't have the lumberjack shirt yet. If you're a build that doesn't have a lot of knockback or a lot of ways to kill enemies, then you need to stay away from the anglerfish, because you simply won't have the damage or defensive capabilities to keep them from just running you down. I'll take the cake here, and yeah, 15 more luck. 2 armor would also be really nice, but I think the luck is going to be more important. Let's take a fishhook, a lumberjack shirt, and an incendiary turret, and then roll again. I'll lock a corrupted shard, and defective steroids I think is worth locking as well, because we have the fishhook. I'll buy this regardless, because the melee damage is mostly useless, but the 2 HP is pretty important. We only have 33. We have an elite coming up, which is going to be a real challenge as well. Our incendiary turret unfortunately spawned in a pretty bad spot. I am going to try to kill these eggs before they hatch, at least one of them, because this is a character that simply cares about the total amount of enemy health on the field, and so if we let these hatchers spawn a lot of slashers, then there will simply be too much enemy health on the field for our random damage to get through. I'm going to try to drag the enemies through the incendiary turret here. I'm liking the torch strategy, so if we die on this run, I will probably try this challenge again with torch at least once, because we're just doing a lot of random spread out damage with the torch, so it's helping us with our basic plan. Okay, took a lot of hits there, and I don't have a lot of consumable heal. We do have some regen, but it is hard for us to heal up when I take damage. That meant I left a lot of money on the ground that wave. Bait, unfortunately, I don't think we can take. With only 1 torch, we just can't defend ourselves from the loot aliens, but we'll take defective steroids. Here I'm going to take 3 armor. We have no armor currently, and then our fishhook, of course, doing as fishhook does and continuing to be completely non-functional. Let's roll here. I'll definitely take a scar. We'll roll again. Take another fishhook. That's great. And then I'll lock a mushroom. And hopefully we get a cursed mushroom, because both reducing the amount of luck that we lose from that and increasing the amount of regeneration we gain from that are really valuable. Again, an anglerfish wave, so I need to be very careful about where I am positioned in terms of waking up the anglerfish. Once I can pick up a lot of materials and trigger my passive a bunch, it's a little better to wake them up, because then we're likely to put damage on them to go with the damage that we get from our torch and from the incendiary turret. We haven't found a single point of pickup radius or a baby gecko. I really don't want to kill that blobfish, but unfortunately I did set it on fire, so there's a very good likelihood that unfortunately our passive killed it. So now I have to run away from the lampreys. We don't have the damage to take them out reliably currently, and they will chase me down and put a ton of hurt on me, so I need to be very careful about my positioning around them. Cool. Okay, I was about to die at the end of that wave. The wave ended right on time that we didn't die. I don't have the healing to support blood donation, so we're going to have to recycle that, sadly. We're going to roll here and roll again, because we got nothing useful. I need some movement speed, so I'll take that. Do I just want to take 2 regen here? It feels so bad taking a level 1 upgrade when you have 170 luck. So let's reroll this. Reroll again. All right, well, 3 regen, but it is worth spending the regeneration, spending the money to get the extra regen there. Take the propeller hat and we'll roll. 3rd fish hook, that's a nice one for sure. Do I want a clockwork wasp? I probably do. We currently have only the 1 turret, but it is nice to have additional attack speed on it. And I'll buy the jelly, even though this is only 1 HP. We only have 45 health, so I do want stuff like that, even though it's very inefficient. Unfortunately, this shop is terrible for me. I was hoping to be able to lock something good for our triple fish hook, but we weren't able to. I will say the fact that we got an early peacock and now we have triple fish hook is helping a lot with this run. That's certainly over, and we have lumberjack shirt, which is a really big deal for this run as well. That's over par for what you would expect. We also got the cyber ball. Those you can expect pretty reliably on the lucky, because this character is just more likely to find those in the shop thanks to its shop tags. All right, taking 2 hits there from the goblin shark was pretty bad. I really could use more consumable healing. Probably the best item we could find is fairy, but the second best item is jerky. Always going to take at least 1 hit there. Yeah, I think I might die this wave. I just don't have the damage or defensive capabilities to stay alive. Oh, 15 from that cursed enemy. Oh, that feels bad. Okay, so what can we learn from that? We were in good shape until I couldn't clear wave 11. And my movement also that wave was very bad. I needed to maybe dive in and get cute monkey heals, but we simply didn't have the luxury of doing that. Triple fish hook was good, but it was economy, and so it didn't make us stronger in the short term. And then the last couple shops we did, we got very unlucky, so try this again. The last few shops before the end of that run, I wasn't able to find anything that helped, that made us stronger, so that definitely didn't help. But I feel like we could have done better there. Just better shopping decisions. All right, an early toxic sludge, that's great. The early weird food, that's also great. Do I feel like buying the whistle this early is good? Probably I do, and then I will lock a scar as well. That's another amazing early item to find on the lucky. So that's going to be a lot of economy. We got the toxic sludge, so our torch is going to do good damage early on. I also want to try this with the loot, because of course that will scale with our luck. But the downside of the loot... Oh, nice, getting a crate there. I don't think we'll be able to kill this tree. Oh, nice. I did get it. Okay, awesome. I'll take the coffee here. I think we do care more about 10% attack speed than 6 materials and 2% damage. Even with only 1 weapon, coffee's just such a good item. Do I take luck here, or do I just roll for defensive stats, or... I think I'll just take 5 luck. I could roll for harvesting or defensive stats, but I think it's more important that we just buy stuff. And luck, of course, is very important on this character. You also, on your first level, because that was our level 1 level up, you cannot find a level 2 level up. It's always going to be all level 1s. So there was no, even though we have high luck, there's no point in re-rolling to try to get a better level up screen. It's just, was there something specifically that we wanted? I think also my instinct that we don't want to roll for early harvesting, because as the lucky you get it later, and, well, obviously I'm going to take this 8 harvesting, but as the lucky you get harvesting later and with more difficulty than other characters, so it's not worth rolling for it as much. Alright, we'll take the lumberjack shirt and head injury, and then I will roll, and then I think I'm not going to re-roll for 4 here because it's wave 3, so we still have a guaranteed weapon in the shop. I really need some healing, though. This character won't function if we don't get a lot of healing, because as you saw last time, we were not able to avoid taking a lot of damage. With only 1 weapon, it's almost impossible not to take a bunch of damage. Get the tree kill there, and then try to pick up materials to kill more of the wave. Our damage wasn't bouncing to the lamprey, and I think we also rolled really badly on our 75% chances. that wave, so that was why that was a little harder than it should have been. Let's reroll here. We'll take 6 max HP, and then I could take 2 regen, but I'm going to reroll one more time. All right, I will take 8 more harvesting when we get it early like this. A baby gecko, that's a very important find for us, and another weird food is going to be a lot of extra healing. We'll take metal detector as well, although that costs us 5% damage, it gives us luck, and the chance of doubling materials is really good. Do I reroll again here? I think not when we have a weapon locked in the shop. Or when we have an item locked in the shop and can't use the weapon purchase. I'm going to try to kill this buffing alien, because if too many enemies get buffed, it's going to just increase, again, the total amount of health on the field too much for us to deal with. Now, I am at 7 HP, but because I have so many weird ghosts, any consumable that we drop will heal us back to full. So we're actually making decent money this wave for wave 5. We don't yet have 20 harvesting, which most characters would, but we're going to make okay money this wave, and I left some materials on the ground, but 174, not bad at all. We'll recycle the bat. We don't want to lose harvesting, and we can't use the lifesteal at all. Here, I'm going to take 2 armor. We do just need more armor. We'll buy the metal detector, we'll roll. We'll buy a tree to go with our lumberjack shirt and another metal detector. I still can't take the bait, unfortunately. Cauldron does give us pickup radius and more damage, so I think we do take the cauldron, because that's going to be a lot more damage output when we pick up a consumable, which we're going to be doing a lot. Now, I do need to fix my regen after buying the cauldron, and I think, again, for the same reason we did last time, we're skipping the piggy bank. Wave 6 and onwards also get harder because for the first 5 waves, enemies are guaranteed to drop materials every single time you kill one. In later waves, that's not the case, so we no longer have guaranteed material drops to make sure that we're able to keep the chain going and kill enemies over and over. The tree, alongside the weird ghosts and just having high luck and all that, is good healing even though we don't have any regeneration, but of course we're going to want some regeneration as soon as we can get it, because this character is struggling to stay healthy. Left a lot of materials on the ground that wave. Alright, I'll take another weird food, sure. Do I want 2 armor or 6 max HP? Let's take the armor. Jerky, more excellent healing. We'll take a cauldron. Ice Cube is really interesting, so that will mean that enemies will take additional damage, but we can't really guarantee that we're going to hit those enemies that we have set on fire with our lucky passive, so I think Ice Cube is actually too expensive for us to buy, unfortunately. I'm also going to pass on the Clockwork Wasp. We don't have a structure at all right now, so although I do need movement speed, that's a very inefficient way to buy it, and I think this character has to be very picky about what we buy. I also need to be picky about not just walking into enemies and taking infinite damage and dying. So let's try not to do that as much. Alright, the extra pickup radius there was very good. The jerky is giving us a ton of healing. I do need to... Ah, no. I just walked into everything and died there. I thought there was a space in between, but obviously sometimes bad movement will get you. It's much harder to move around on this character, of course, because we're not pushing enemies away. So my movement has to be much more precise, and I'm not used to the movement requirements for this run yet. So you're going to see me die a lot more in ways that I wouldn't in a normal run. Boxing glove, I don't think we want. I will take the alien worm. Let's reroll. I'll take another alien worm, and we'll buy a penguin as well, because we just want as much regeneration as we can get, and we will be picking up consumables at full health sometimes. Now we do need to get consumable healing to offset the double alien worm, ideally. That's too bad. Last run was pretty promising. We had a lumberjack shirt, we had double metal detector, so we were going to make a little more money. So definitely feels a little bad to have thrown the last run. Here, I guess I'll take 5 harvesting. Early harvesting isn't that important, but I do still, I think, want 5 harvesting when it shows up right away. I'll take the propeller hat. Now, do I want to buy a boiling water for the damage on our torch? I think not. I think that when we find elemental damage, it's worth picking up, but we don't want to buy elemental damage. Also, if the torch doesn't work again, I might try a different weapon. Trying to keep that enemy on fire. This is going to be a little harder because we haven't found any early elemental damage, which we did in both of our previous runs for very cheap. And so our kill threat against these enemies is significantly lower. Try to keep that tree on fire there. Here, I could take 3 max HP, but I feel like we can do better. I'm going to roll... Do I just take 5 harvesting? I could take an elemental damage. I could take 5% damage. Let's just take 5 harvesting and try to keep my income high. I'm going to take the propeller hat, and I'll buy scared sausage as well. It's basically like buying 1 elemental damage, but then also, if we get any structures, it'll work with those. And then, okay, nice. We got to offset our alien worms with a weird food, and we got a bunch of other items that are going to be really solid for us. At this point, I think I have to stop taking economy stats, though, because we have the fertilizer in the shop. So I shouldn't take any harvesting in this next wave. Again, hard not to take these hits. I also forgot I didn't have the lumberjack shirt, and that the consumable's only worth 1 healing, so there's not really much point in trying for the consumable healing here. So, pretty weak wave there. I will take the fuel tank. That's going to be great for our torch. And then let me reroll here and reroll again. Trying to get higher level upgrades. I guess I'll just take 2 regen, though, because we're sort of forced to take a level 1 upgrade there. Go ahead and buy these, and then roll. Little Frog. Pickup radius is so good on this character that I think the Little Frog is worth buying. And the harvesting will be nice as well. I should have waited to pick up those materials until a couple more enemies had spawned, so we could actually use our Lucky's passive against them. I'll also note that we haven't found a single baby elephant, and we've only found the cyber ball in that first run. And those are going to be very important, so we've been a little unlucky finding those. But last run I did just throw. We had a really good setup, and I just walked into 10 enemies in a row and died. No lumberjack shirt is so painful as well. Okay, nice. We got a cyber ball. That's amazing. I'll take 10 luck here, and then we will buy a tree and a little frog, and we'll roll. Snowball, I'm not going to be buying elemental damage items. That's really just to get us through the early game. So let's roll. Do I re-roll again? I think for 9, I'm going to pass. I really need to... The reason is we don't care about any weapons, so we don't want to reroll when we have guaranteed weapons in the shop on wave 5. And the thing that I need to find is baby elephants and cyber balls. So we're just going to roll for those once we get out of the point where we're going to be seeing weapons every time we reroll. Didn't manage to set that tree on fire again, unfortunately. Let's go run through the middle, pick up as many materials as I can to try to keep the enemies clear. The other problem that I had in previous waves was I was playing a little too scared of the enemies, so I wasn't picking up materials and therefore wasn't keeping the enemies clear. It was actually counterintuitively making the game more dangerous that I was playing further away from the enemies. So I need to fix that approach to movement. Let's take 10 more luck here, and then we'll take another cyber ball. Excellent. Getting 2 of those is amazing. I'll take a treasure map as well, and do I want the fin? I think not, although I do need movement speed. The extra... losing luck is really painful, and fin is very expensive. So let's re-roll here. That's a bunch of weapons. Let's re-roll again. I will buy a propeller hat. Cake we definitely want, and I think we do want the mouse. Yes, it costs me harvesting. Yeah, the lifesteal isn't useful, but more enemies on the field is so important to the lucky because it means that you keep your chain going. You're not picking up materials when there's no enemies on the field. It's just more total damage for you to get. Now, this wave is always going to be tough because it's a healer wave. I'm going to try to set the trees on fire if possible and then wait for them to burn down, which unfortunately is the only way that we can destroy them. Now, obviously that works in real life, so there's no reason it wouldn't work in Brotato as well. Gonna try to pass through a bunch of these materials, but the enemies are collecting where I need to walk. Maybe we can get that tree kill. Didn't quite tick out before the end of the wave. I'll take the penguin here. Leather vest is great. We need armor. I'll take the book. We don't currently have any structures, but we will want structures if we see them. And then let's take 8% damage. And for more regeneration here, the movement speed would also be nice, but we've just got to buy regen when we see it. Take the cake and the mouse, and then we'll roll, and we'll buy another cake, and go to wave 8. I'm feeling in okay shape because I have the double cyber ball. Baby elephant would be better, but cyber ball is very good. It does luck-based damage around the map, so as we kill stuff, more stuff dies. I wouldn't mind another point of consumable heal. I also would love a cute monkey. We had a couple in one of the earlier attempts, and that's a lot of healing for this character since we're always struggling, we're always striving to pick up materials, so cute monkey is always going to be good healing for us. Get that tree kill. See if we can get this one as well. Oh, taking that hit was really bad. Let's run from that anglerfish. Try to set that tree on fire and hopefully it dies. We didn't get any crates out of any of those trees, but that's okay. Losing an elemental damage is painful, but more luck is still good. I can't remember if I have anything good locked in the shop, but I will take the mirror because we'll probably get something good out of it. We'll take 8% damage. Ooh, do I want the doubled alien magic? That's a lot of lost luck, which is extremely painful for the lucky, and we lose 25% more. So we're going to be losing 20 luck if I buy the double alien magic. On the other hand, that gets all the HP and regen that I so desperately need kind of sorted out. So I think I will buy them. We'll take the fertilizer, and we'll buy the injection. I'll lock a weird food. I'll do one reroll here, and then go to the next wave. So, does hurt, of course, to lose 20 luck there. That's very painful, but now we're at 41 HP and we have 20 regen, so this character's in just wildly better shape with the double alien magic. That solves a lot of our defensive needs. Wow, I wish I had a lumberjack shirt, though. So I don't think we're really in good shape to be able to kill these loot aliens when they spawn. I just don't have the damage for it. Let's try to pick up a bunch of these materials in the center of the wave, and maybe some of those will trigger damage on the loot alien and kill it for us. Walked into a lot of attacks there. All right, the loot alien did just take like a spate of 28 damage ticks, but there's just too much HP on the field, so bouncing it to the loot alien specifically is difficult. I think we did actually kill it there. I'll take the garden. That's good healing. We'll recycle the dynamite. And we did make very good money that wave. We left a lot of it on the ground, but we made a lot of good money. We'll take 6 movement speed because I badly need that. Here, I could take 12% damage because that will help my lucky passive. I could also roll for luck or armor, but let's just take 12% damage. I think that's good enough. I'm going to take the helmet. I'll take the landmines because we have a scared sausage. And just random damage around the map is still really good, even if it's very inefficient sources of it, like landmines. We're going to pass on community support and pile of books. We don't want to buy crit chance or anything, but we'll definitely take the jerky. Let's roll here. Sunken Bell is a nice... is a very nice insurance policy. This character will take a bunch of damage, and especially against the horde wave, the Sunken Bell might be able to help us. I have, I think, enough regeneration to get away with the weird ghost, so let's give that a try as well. I was gonna run to the garden, but of course the landmine tricked me into thinking they were a garden. try to pick up a bunch of these materials, and again, try to keep the number of enemies on the field under control, so we're not bouncing too much damage to things that we don't want to damage. I probably shouldn't even bother going after the trees at this point. It's costing me too many material pickups. It's letting the enemies get out of control that I'm walking towards the trees. Okay, that was great. The Sunken Bell was awesome there. So we'll take a couple hits, but then I can go pick up a million materials and clear everything else. All right, that Sunken Bell was incredible. Then I took infinite damage for no reason, but, you know... That tree didn't even die. I hit it so many times. Boxing Glove, I'm going to recycle. We just don't care about the melee damage or knockback. Wandering Bot, for 32, I think I will take the Wandering Bot. It's not a very good item usually, but this character slowing enemies will be pretty nice. Terrified Onion, I just don't think we can afford. I do need more movement speed, but I can't reduce my luck. And then here I'm going to take 2 armor. Our regen is good, but our armor's terrible, so I need to fix that. We'll take a leather vest and a corrupted shard and then roll. And Ice Cube, I think I still do pass on. I think that was the right call last time. So let's roll again. Okay, Cursed Alien Eyes, that's a way to kill enemies, but what of these do I want first? If I buy the Pearl, I can buy the Cursed Alien Eyes, and that's 16% damage and the Alien Eyes. I definitely want the Potato as well. But I think we want these 2 items first, and then we'll keep the Potato locked. And then go to Wave 11. So this is a Horde wave. It's going to be kind of rough. I'm going to try to pool consumables on the ground so that when I need a heal, I can go grab those. It's also a healer wave, so enemies are going to be taking... enemies are going to be getting pushed back to full health really quickly. So our random damage is not going to be that effective. The Sunken Bell will probably come into play again, and hopefully will be good enough to keep us alive. So yeah, we're going to use our Sunken Bell there. And that will maybe buy me a little bit more time. I keep thinking I can run to the trees for a heal, but that doesn't work. But let's go pick up all these consumables, and we'll use our Jerky to stay full health for the rest of the wave. I'll take another couple hits here, but there we go. We got a consumable heal, and another one as I ran past the garden. And okay, so we made it through the Horde wave. Past wave 11, I wasn't... That's as far as we got, as far as we've gotten so far. Take the baby elephant, we'll take the little frog, and I don't think we're building dodge, even though I did buy double leather vest, because I've reduced my dodge quite a bit. So let's take 2 armor here, we'll buy a potato, and then we'll reroll. Cursed Snowball, do we want the Cursed Snowball? I still don't think I do. I will take a fertilizer even a little later on. Let's lock another potato and a leather vest, and... Alien Eyes and Book. Another Alien Eyes is a decent amount of additional damage output. Once you get a bunch of those, they start stacking up a little better. So maybe let's take that. The Book, I think we will pass on. We don't have... Yeah, we've just got the 1 landmines for engineering in this build. Getting the baby elephant and the double cyber balls is really good, though. Alright. And our torch still does enough damage that we can start the chain off, which is very important. That's the thing that we need, is to be able to begin killing enemies. So the torch and the Alien Eyes together can do that. Oh, our Cursed Alien Eyes actually make it a lot easier to kill trees, which is nice. If I time that right, because they do a big burst of damage at once. So even though we don't have Lumberjack Shirt, we're now a little more capable of killing trees. Really unfortunate to kill that blobfish when we didn't have any consumables on the ground to heal. I'm going to work my way back around over here to pick up as many consumables from the garden as I can. Because now these lampreys are absorbing just a lot of the damage that we're doing. Another blobfish kill as well. This wave is really painful. Okay, well, I used the Sunken Bell there. That actually worked out really well. I kind of forgot that I had it. Yeah, I'll take a Cauldron. We definitely want that. Butterfly, we're going to recycle. Candle, we're going to recycle. Corrupted Shard, I'll still take. Sad to get these 2 level 4 upgrades that are useless to us, but let's re-roll those, and we'll take 2 more armor. And then here, another Alien Eyes, a Leather Vest, and a Potato. And then we'll roll, and roll, and roll. Ugly Tooth, does that help enough against the Elite that it's worth taking? Probably not. I think I'm just going to take the injection and then do a reroll here. Recycling Machine, I think we can afford to take the Recycling Machine. We should be dropping a lot of crates since our luck is really high, so the Recycling Machine should be useful to us. Took a really long time before we killed our first enemy to get our chain going that wave. Would really love a baby gecko, like more baby geckos. I think we have 1 on this build currently. Tift's Relic obviously would be amazing. The best thing we could find still is Fairy. That's probably the single best item for us, even with our double potato, which makes the Fairy a little bit worse because we have some level 4 items already. Lumberjack shirt would still be excellent as well. Being able to actually kill these trees efficiently would be really nice. I mean, trying to get them with my Alien Eyes here. Yeah, we got that one at least. But we're making okay money. Sharp Bullet, that does work with our Alien Eyes, so I will take that. And then if we get a Pocket Factory or something, it works with that as well. Let's re-roll here and just take 2 more armor. And then 2 more armor. Obviously, Ball and Chain is great. We're never going to attack faster than that. And this is exactly the type of stats that we want. And we'll take a Recycling Machine as well and do a re-roll. Cursed Butterfly, I don't care about. Nail, I don't care about. Spyglass, I don't care about. So let's re-roll all that and then go to the next wave. Yeah, I don't know if this might be easier with a different weapon, but currently I'm really liking the torch as our weapon of choice for this. All right, good. We got enough enemies low that we started generating some materials to get the chain going. I was worried that the enemies this wave just had too much health for us to ever get our chain going. Because this is a wave with buffing aliens, with walruses, which have a lot of health, obviously, with mantis shrimp, which have tons of health, and damage reduction. So this wave could have been really, really difficult for us. I'm now also tanky enough, thanks to our really high consumable heal and high luck. We have some good regen as well, that we can take damage from enemies, we can walk at them, and that helps a lot. We'll take another garden for sure. Fried rice, yeah, we'll take that. And then here, I do now have enough dodge that maybe I'm supposed to buy dodge, because at this point, 14% dodge becomes a lot more efficient. So I think I will take 9% more. A defective steroids, excellent. 4 max HP is great. We'll take a cute monkey as well. That's more healing. Another scared sausage, I don't think I need as much. We've just got the 1 landmine to spread fire at this point, so I think we're going to pass on it. I'm also still passing on the strange book. I can't buy both the leather vest and the incendiary turret, although I do want both, but let's go ahead and buy the leather vest, lock the incendiary turret, and go to wave 15 here. So, we have an elite. Oh, this is one of the hardest ones for us. So I'm immediately taking a lot of damage from it. I don't have the movement speed that I want for fighting this elite. We're actually doing surprisingly good damage to it just because we have double alien eyes, and those are so good at damaging elites. Obviously, as you can see, we're not doing great damage to it, but we're doing more than I would have expected. The problem this wave is that we have the elite who's absorbing tons of ticks from our passive, so we're not killing as many enemies here. And we've got blobfish, and then the lampreys absorb even more damage. But the Sunken Bell proc, again, Sunken Bell seems like an all-star in this run, because it is keeping us alive when nothing else would do that. Definitely take a cute monkey here. I'm going to take some more movement speed, because my move speed is terrible. Rip and Tear, this is a way that I could deal a little bit of damage, again, around the map, so enemies could deal just a little more damage when they pop. I think I will buy the Rip and Tear, and then I'll reroll, I'll lock an Injection, I'll reroll one more time. Scarf, we would be going into wave 17. The melee damage is relevant because we have Rip and Tear, so that actually does matter, and the move speed and regen are good. I think I can afford to take the Scarf. I'll take the Snail as well, because then that'll make enemies a little easier to avoid. It's going to be almost impossible not to kill the enemy houses this wave. And actually, I should do that. I should kill the towers rather than let the mini-bosses spawn, because the mini-bosses just have so much health, they're going to absorb infinite damage. Whereas even the buffed Stargazers, we can tank through. The mini-bosses are also just super dangerous, so I don't really want to let them spawn if possible. Unfortunately, one did spawn there. I was trying to hit that, stand inside the tower and hit it with a bunch of Alien Eyes procs, and then we could kill the tower for sure. The Alien Eyes are giving us a way that we can deal damage to specific enemies by standing directly on top of them and hitting them with the Alien Eyes. Alright, so we didn't do great that wave, but we didn't do terribly. I'm definitely taking the padding. We've got very low max HP. We'll take another garden. More healing is great. Oh, we don't actually have a baby gecko this wave. This run. I was thinking of a different run. I'm going to take that, and I'll take the snail here. Having the snail will help offset the extra move speed from the scarf, so I think it's worth getting it early. A starfish would be nice. More enemies dropping materials, of course, would mean more damage. Now, we would have to be really careful because this character cannot defend itself at all. Enemies who try to attack us almost always succeed because we don't have weapons to push them away, and all our damage is dealt to random enemies rather than specific enemies that we actually want to damage. But at this point, I do now have enough in the way of health and regen that we can tank through a lot of what enemies are doing. Also, our Alien Eyes plus our high percent damage mean that just our fire and extra damage output are doing really well. I'm going to take the Alien Magic here. I want more regen and more health. And do I want more move speed? I think I don't need more than 14%, so I'm going to re-roll that. And yeah, we'll take 4 regen. I'm happier with that. I'll take the injection here, and then I'm going to roll. Stone Skin, we don't care about our attack speed. We have 24 armor. Wow, how did we get to 24 armor? 24 armor is ridiculous and is part of why we're doing so well. But going up to 86 max HP off the Stone Skin is great. Fertilizer won't pay for itself, but let's buy the weird food, and I'll lock the head injury. I do want the extra percent damage, but head injury, or the weird food, is going to be more useful for keeping us alive going into this coming wave. So I'm kind of curious if I can try to kill the elite using my Alien Eyes, because Alien Eyes, if you stand inside a unit when they fire, all 12 hits from the Alien Eyes will hit that unit. I don't think we have enough damage still, because we're not doing any damage with our weapon, of course, and all the damage from my passive is going on other things being spread around the map. I also really don't want to put myself in a position where I'm not killing other stuff, because then we don't have materials to pick up, which means a lot less healing, a lot less damage, just overall a much less effective wave for us. Okay, I need to be really careful here. My movement was really bad, and I took a bunch of hits. I'm going to run over here and get the healing so that we can then survive the wave. Too many mini-bosses spawn that wave. Wave 18 is super dangerous to have an elite on, so I was in a lot of danger there. I'm going to recycle the dynamite, even though we have the rip and tear. I don't want to build around it. I'll take 2 armor here. We'll buy 6% more damage, and then I'll roll. A warrior helmet is perfect. This is exactly the type of thing we need, and I will buy the shady potion as well. Maybe I should have done that in the other order. do one more reroll, and I'll take a beanie because I just bought the warrior helmet, so I want to pick up some more movement speed. Wave 20 is going to be really tough. Oh no, the gobbler. Every time on these challenge runs, the gobbler shows up. And, of course, the gobbler is really bad for the lucky, because it's going to eat all of our materials that we're trying to turn into dead enemies. I think it died, though. I think it died to our passive. So that's good. But I now have the defensive capabilities to stay alive while I'm trying to kill stuff. But we're not dealing enough damage that enemies are actually dying constantly. So I am falling behind here in terms of damage output, but we just need to have the defensive capabilities to stay alive through Wave 20. So I just needed enough money to make that possible. Exoskeleton, that is exactly the type of thing we need. Move speed, armor. I'm going to actually not buy the beanie now, because 17 move speed or 18 move speed will be enough. Do I actually want the Shady Potion? I think I still do, even though it costs me 2 regen. Extra luck is good defensively as well, because most of our healing is consumable healing. I will take the Lost Duck for the same reason, and then we'll do a reroll here. Another Pearl would have been amazing. More percent damage would have been awesome. And, oh no, a baby elephant and a metal plate, those would have been incredible items for us as well. But let's see if we can survive the boss wave. And try to clear the rest of the enemies on the field so we have more room to maneuver around the boss attacks. Because I don't want to just get cut off by how much stuff there is around the place and end up dying as a result of that. And I'm trying to leave consumables on the ground, mostly, in order to give myself the option to pick up a ton of them and heal all at once when I need to. I'm pretty happy I invested even slightly in dodge. Oh no, I took damage before I walked over to that garden, and then I ate like 9 fruits at once. That is really bad, because we really want to leave... Oh, it happened again. We really want to leave those as healing options for when I take more damage than just like 1 tick. But I'm pretty glad that I invested in a little bit of dodge, because that's been very efficient in terms of defensive stats, especially because I ended up with 100 health, so the dodge is really a lot of effective HP. The more health you have, the better dodge is, because more times you get to try to dodge before you die. All right, and there we go. We managed to win on the lucky without buying a single weapon. Obviously, you can't do this if you sell your first weapon. I initially thought maybe we can even just do a no weapons at all challenge. You can't do that. But without buying a weapon is still pretty fun. Let's look at our items here. So in the winning version of this run, we got triple penguin early. That was great. It also worked really well with our jerky to give us just massive healing. The double alien worm was a lot of healing and HP as well. The early fuel tank that we got from a box meant that our torch was doing quite a bit of damage for a really long time. I also really thought that the torch was the best weapon for this, so I'm glad that that was the direction that I went. Cyber balls were great. They did 110k damage. Treasure map got me 5 items, which was awesome as well. Alien magics. Yeah, mirroring the alien magic was another key decision point in this run as well, and I thought that worked excellently. The mirrored alien magic was actually really important. Without it, we couldn't have won. Finding 3 gardens was great. The landmines were very good as well, by just spreading burning damage and just doing a little bit of extra damage. Jerky, of course, an all-star as always. The Sunken Bell dealt 20k damage, but that number's, which is already good, but that number's a little deceptive because this just saved my life in like 4 different waves. So this was a very key component to this win here. I liked the Wandering Bot. That helped keep me alive as well. Alien Eyes, the curse between the two of them, they dealt 87k damage, 9k from incendiary turret, so it wasn't amazing, and the recycling machine was awful, only 25 materials from that. 116 healing from the cute monkey, and rip and tear dealt 27k, so this actually was very good. So of the items that we did buy, I think I maybe shouldn't have bought the recycling machine. Everything else felt pretty good to have bought, though, so I'm pretty happy with how we played that final run. And yeah, that was a really fun and interesting challenge. I want to thank the person who suggested it in the comments of my video where we did no item challenges. So yeah, give this one a try. I think it is pretty doable, though you do maybe have to get a little lucky with early cyberballs, or baby elephants, but I found this one really fun and interesting, and we got to use some items that you never get to use otherwise. As always, my friends, hope that you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.